Hey everyone, Chris Remmes from Coldwell Banker in Boston. Welcome back to the latest version of my video blog. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about the numbers that we have from the third quarter of 2020 that just came in. You know, I think we all have a good idea of what we think is going on in the real estate market, but it's always good to see it backed up by hard facts and numbers. So right now we're still really grappling with the work from home market and what this is going to look like with for people long term. So the first number that we're seeing that I thought was very interesting for me, that I was happy to see because I feel like it's what I've been telling people, is that the number of sales in the third quarter of 2020, that it was the same as the number of sales for the third quarter of 2019. We had kind of caught back up from where we were since the pandemic, and we're kind of back on track. So we can see that sales are a little soft with the condos. Price per square foot's down a little bit, but the number of sales, people are still buying in the city. It's taken a little bit longer to sell, and prices are a little bit soft. As far as the closings and the number of sales across the city, this next slide you'll see this kind of just reiterates, you know, the seasonality of things, and that we have, once again, we had zero change from 2019 in the third quarter, which for me is good news. I think a lot of people always think that there's going to be doom and gloom, but it's really not doom and gloom. A couple of records that I think are interesting to talk about in the South End. We had a record price per square foot in the third quarter of $1,083, just under $1,100 a square foot, up 1% from the previous year. A couple of other records over there in Charlestown, so it's not all bad news. You know, people, we talk a lot about things and people wanting to move more space, to move into the suburbs. So we have heard that in Metro Boston, Realtor.com is reporting is that prices in the suburbs are up anywhere from 10 to 15%. The inventory is down, and things are selling much quicker than they were in the past. You know, the impact that's having on us in the city is that some people are actually rethinking going to the suburbs because it's so competitive out there, and thinking about staying put and staying where they are. As far as the luxury market goes, you know, I always like to talk about that. And, you know, in the past we've said there's been a real slowdown, and you can see the slowdown. The number of sales in these luxury buildings, what I like to call the New York style buildings, concierge, elevator, garage parking, down a whopping 19%. So won't last forever. So if you were inclined to go for one of those properties before, it might be a good time to look for a deal. Another property that I always like to talk about is One Dalton. Not really a luxury building, what I like to call an ultra luxury building. Ritz Carlton, we're half hotel and half condos. We're up to about now 71% over there, with an average sale price over $6 million. Probably sold about 5 or 6 units over there over the third quarter. And then Winthrop Square, which is another landmark property project by Millennium Partners. They've decided that Boston is still going to be long-term a strong market. They want to be here. They've just decided that for their latest project, they were going to scale it back a little bit from 400 units down to about 320 units. And they were going to go from condos right now to rentals, just to get the building up, get some cash flow going, and maintain their commitment to the Boston market. They had some problems with the financing, but they've got some financing from the Kuwaitis, so they're all ready to move forward over there. Rental market, as I've talked before, you know, things have softened in the rental market. We see landlords paying fees, and we see reductions there, and the inventory still up in the rental market. So anyway, that's a very high level for the third quarter of 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you want to know more specifically about your neighborhood or your house, feel free to reach out to me, Chris Remmes from Coldwell Banker, 617-947-9337. Thanks for being with me. Bye-bye.